Society has taught us the definition of success all wrong. Or maybe not wrong, but definitely incomplete. Because when we are told to picture a successful person, we're usually imagining someone with a lot of money. Someone, maybe they have a mansion or cars or they travel all the time. We're imagining financial success. And don't get me wrong, money is very important. 100%. We're not discussing that. Money is what gives you freedom. It's what gives you options. It's what allows you to pay for other types of success. But I think that's exactly the problem. We're taught that money is the definition of success, when truly it's just the vehicle towards the success that we actually want. And when we make money our only goal, or our primary goal, we forget about all that other stuff that we want. And today, we're going to talk about it. If we haven't met yet, my name is Isabel, and on this channel, we talk all about embracing your weird in order to build a better brand, business, and life. So let's go. I think that we've spent so much time focused on financial success that we've forgotten about other types of success. And it makes sense, right? We live in a society that is taught to think about numbers. We're taught to think about our salary and our net worth and how much we make each year, and KPIs if you're in the corporate world, or subscribers, followers, views. Everything is numbers. We whittle down everything to numbers, and that makes sense. Numbers are logical, they're measurable, they're real. When someone comes up and tells you that they made 100 grand that year, or that their YouTube channel gained 1 million followers, or that their business grew by 30%, those numbers are concrete. They're tied to reality, and that makes it easier for our brain to digest them as safe. But what about peace? What about peace of mind? What about freedom? What about rest? What about feeling happy, joyful? What about the things that make us happy? How do we measure peace? How do we measure joy? How do we measure whimsy? How do we measure spending time with the people we love? And aren't those things just as important or more? I think that we tend to leave these things as a secondary thought, not because they're less important, but because they're harder to measure. What we measure gets tracked, makes us feel good about ourselves, and therefore we value it. And it's harder to measure those kinds of things. But that doesn't mean that they're less important. The other day, I had a realization, right? Companies need KPIs, they need metrics, they need numbers, they need to run their things to make sure that the company is profiting and is growing and being successful. I think that as a society, we've started to treat ourselves as a company, and we are not a company. First of all, because we are a single human brain. We are not thousands of brains that can work on all different schedules on all different kinds of things all the time. Second of all, we're not robots. Third of all, we're not companies, we're people. I get wanting to track your life. Trust me, I am the habit tracker, planner, task, to-do list, crossing off the things type of person, but I'm not a company. I get wanting to measure how productive we are. I get wanting to measure how much we're growing, how much we're making, how much money we made. I get that. But when we let ourselves get lost in just tracking how productive we are, we eventually lose. Because at some point, as a human, we have to stop and rest. We can't just keep being more and more and more productive. That's not human. And again, it's not bad to want to be productive. It's not bad to want to make more money. It's not bad to want to grow your business. But I think we've focused on just these questions and forgotten that there's a whole other list of questions. Because if we're gonna measure our lives, why aren't we measuring other things? Why aren't we counting how many sunsets we saw this year? Or how many dinners we had with our family? Or how many times we went out to eat with someone we love? Or lazy mornings? Or coffee on a cold afternoon? Why aren't we counting those things? Why aren't we counting the moments that make life feel richer? It's funny because if someone came up to you and said, hey, I made an extra 50 grand, 100 grand, 500 grand, insert number here this year, we would immediately recognize that as success. If someone came up to you and said, hey, I had dinner with my family every single year, our first thought isn't necessarily success. Our second thought usually is, but I want to make a caveat here. This is usually because it's stuff to do with other people, because that's another thing society has taught us. Other people come first, right? So if it's something that you did for your kids, for your partner, for your parents, for your friends, for the community, that is success in its own way. Or at least you might not be successful, but hey, you're a good person. Good for you. But if someone came up to you and said, I watched 100 sunsets this year, or I spent 8 hours a week building jigsaw puzzles, or this past year has been my best year ever because I wake up at 11 a.m. every day. We don't think of that as successful. We laugh. We think jigsaw puzzles are silly. We think counting sunsets makes no sense. Some of the more intellectual judgment might even come from well, if you're counting the sunsets, are you really enjoying them, right? We would think that someone waking up at 11 a.m. every day is lazy. Those are the kinds of things that society has taught us to attribute to these things. I'm not saying absolutely everyone would have these thoughts, but it is probably a majority. Because I've heard it in conversations. I've seen it on media, on TV. We see this. We even see the selfish word come up. A mom who takes Sunday mornings off from taking care of her kids isn't seen as a person taking care of herself. She's seen as a lazy mom, sometimes a bad mom. But we all need time to reset. We all need time to rest. We all need time to unplug and disconnect. It's what makes us better humans. It's what makes us be able to show up more authentically when we do show up. More well-rested, in a better mood, in a better state of mind. And here's the thing, again, money, 100% important. I'm not saying to forget that. I'm not even saying to deprioritize it. What I'm saying is money is usually the vehicle for the success we really want. But what we do as a society is we turn the vehicle into the end goal. And when we turn the vehicle into the end goal, we don't know when we're driving. We don't know where we're driving. We don't know when to stop. And along the way, we make sacrifices that we don't have to make. I'm going to give you a very, very clear example from my own life. One of my definitions of success is that I want to take December's completely off. I don't want to work December. And I also don't want to work May. Why? Because May is my birthday and December is Christmas. And if that's silly to you, great. This is my definition of success, not yours. It doesn't have to be. This is my dream. Now, is it financially feasible for me to take all of December off and all of May off right this very moment? No, of course not. But what I noticed at some point is that in having that big goal of having enough money to take all of that time off, I never realized that I had middle steps to get there. I fell into a black or white or all or nothing thinking of, I need to be making this much in order to have that thing. And I didn't realize that, hey, no, I can't take 2 complete months off of my life right now. But what I can do is take my birthday off and Christmas off. And then that turned into my birthday and the day after, the 24th and the 25th of December. And then that turned into the week of Christmas, the week of my birthday. This year, and you guys know because I did publish a video on my birthday week and I let you guys know, it's because I took that week off. In fact, I took almost 2 weeks off in May this year. And I'm very grateful that I was able to do that. Is it the full month that I'm aiming for? No. But it's 2 weeks that I did not take off before. And yes, of course, those are 2 weeks where I could be producing and working and making more money to go towards that goal of the month. But I don't want to take a month off when I'm 70. I'd rather take 2 weeks off right now than hope that I make enough money so that in my 50s, I can start taking a month off. And that's the piece I think we're missing. Finding our definition of success, but also identifying what we could be doing now. Maybe your definition of success is having dinner with your kids every single day. And maybe you can't do that right now, but maybe you can do it one night a week. Maybe your definition of success is moving to the countryside, and you can't do that right now. But maybe you can prioritize spending more weekends in nature. Maybe your definition of success is living on a boat, and maybe you can't do that right now. But maybe you can prioritize having a long weekend on a boat. Maybe it's taking a month off every year, like I said, and you can't do that right now, but maybe you can take the weekend off or a week. Find the middle steps, the things that bring you closer to your ideal life. Because yes, while we might be sacrificing earning potential in the moment, we're also enjoying our lives now. We're not postponing our lives. There's a quote by Peter Vidmar that says, "Don't sacrifice what you want most for what you want now." And I agree with that quote to a certain extent, because I understand that instant gratification is a thing. And a lot of times we make the mistake of going after what we want right now, say eating junk food right now, instead of prioritizing going to the gym right now or eating healthy right now, because what we want right now is the French fries and the Coke and the whatever, the hamburger, right? And I get that. But I also feel like in everything in life, there's a flip side to that. And it's not sacrificing what you want now for what you want most. Because now, today, you're alive. Today you're here. Today you can make a change, however small it may be. But we don't know about tomorrow. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us. And if there's one thing I don't want for anyone in this world, is that they keep postponing their life and wake up and realize that they never lived it. That's, I think, all I have for you today. I would love to hear in the comments what your definition of success is. And I really, really want to see you guys comment on this. And the reason is, I think we as people forget that when we say our dreams out loud, we can connect to other people who have similar dreams or who maybe know how to help us achieve those dreams. We give other people the courage to share theirs or to believe in their dreams and their goals and what their definition of success looks like. We've been taught as a society a very specific definition of success, right? It's the wake up, go to school, go to college, get married, have kids, have a white picket fence. But there's a million different lives. I shouldn't even say a million. There's 8 billion people in the world, which means there's 8 billion definitions of success, at least. So let's start sharing it. Let's start telling people that there are other versions of success. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps this channel grow and make new videos like this every single Friday. So until then, stay wild, stay weird, and I'll see you in the next one.